8 things the government did to Black Americans after slavery that nobody talks about. The last one will shock you. Number 1, black codes were passed by Southern states immediately after the Civil War, making it illegal for Black Americans to be unemployed, own property in certain areas, or move freely without a white employer's permission. The codes were designed to recreate the conditions of slavery within the legal framework of freedom. Number 2, convict leasing replaced slavery within years of emancipation. Black Americans were arrested for minor or fabricated offenses, convicted in courts with no black jurors, and leased to plantations, coal mines, and railroads that paid the state for their labor. The system generated millions in revenue for Southern states and was more brutal than slavery in some documented respects because lessees had no financial incentive to keep workers alive. Number 3, the Freedmen's Bureau was established in 1865 to help formerly enslaved people transition to freedom with land, education, and legal protection. President Andrew Johnson vetoed its expansion in 1866 and systematically dismantled it. It was closed in 1872 before it could fulfill its mandate. The 40 acres promised to formerly enslaved people were returned to their former enslavers by presidential order. Number 4, the Reconstruction Amendments gave black men the right to vote in 1870. Southern states immediately passed literacy tests, poll taxes, and grandfather clauses specifically designed to prevent Black Americans from exercising that right. The federal government did not meaningfully enforce black voting rights for nearly 100 years. Number 5, the Supreme Court's 1896 decision in Plessy v. Ferguson legalized racial segregation under the doctrine of separate but equal. The facilities were never equal. The legal framework remained in place for 58 years until Brown v. Board of Education in 1954. Number 6, the Homeowners Loan Corporation, created in 1933, drew color-coded maps of American cities, marking black neighborhoods as high-risk investments. Banks used those maps to deny mortgages for decades. The neighborhoods marked red in 1933 are statistically the poorest neighborhoods in the same cities today. Number 7, Operation COINTELPRO specifically targeted black civil rights and liberation organizations from 1956 to 1971. The FBI forged letters, planted informants, fabricated evidence, and according to congressional testimony, actively worked to prevent what J. Edgar Hoover called the rise of a black messiah. The program was illegal. Nobody went to prison for running it. Before I say the last one, make sure to hit that follow button to support the channel. Number 8. The war on drugs, launched in the 1970s and expanded dramatically in the 1980s, was applied with documented racial disparity from its first day. Black Americans were arrested for drug offenses at rates dramatically higher than white Americans, despite studies consistently showing similar rates of drug use across racial groups. John Ehrlichman, President Nixon's domestic policy advisor, stated in a 2016 interview that the Nixon administration invented the war on drugs specifically to target black people and anti-war protesters. His exact words were, "We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities." That quote is in the public record. The war it described is still being fought. The communities it targeted are still paying the price.